Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the rostrum our team leader, who has been responsible for the personal development of these young people. Employed by Cheshire Fire Brigade, Paul Prescott.
It's going to be very difficult for any subsequent speaker to follow those 11 very professional presentations. However, it was just 12 weeks ago that a group of young people assembled at the tea room on St Paul's Road. They were all new to each other. Many found great fascination in the fingernails and stirring at the toes and odd spots that they may have found on the wall. It was, no one spoke. It was a little bit like a dentist's waiting room, and you could have heard a pin drop. Thinking about it, it was the most peaceful moment on the course. And of course, it didn't last. Within the hour, they had learnt each other's names, some of the backgrounds, they played a few silly games, and they was already starting to feel more comfortable in each other's company. And I knew that we had the makings of what was going to be a very good team. And that is the aim of the course, to forge a good team. Although volunteers come from diverse backgrounds, with differing skill levels and abilities, by forming a team to overcome problems and challenges that couldn't be met as an individual, by making allowances, compromises, tolerating differences and respecting the opinions of others, by working with and for each other and learning from each other, they've each grown as individuals. Each one of the volunteers on stage this evening has developed in some way, to a lesser or greater degree, whether it be a new skill, a new outlook, or a simple change of attitude. They have a new depth to their characters. All have grown in confidence. Throughout the 12 weeks, they have had to constantly review their strengths and their weaknesses. Initially, they were very good at detailing their weaknesses. The descriptions of themselves were full of negatives. I can't, I've never, I won't. Through their own efforts and new experiences and the support they've given each other, they've turned those negative statements into positives. I can, I have, I will. Several volunteers have already told you that 12 weeks ago they would not have had the confidence to stand up here and make a speech. To those of you who have done it before, you'll know it's the scariest thing in the world, and it never gets easier. But if they can do that now, if they can stand here and talk about themselves for 5 minutes in front of 200 strangers, they aren't likely to have much of a problem selling themselves to any potential employer at an interview. So if there is anyone out there who is able to give one of these young people a start to utilise their communication, leadership and teamworking skills, I get in pretty quick before someone else does. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to welcome onto the stage the Regional Director of the Prince's Trust, Mr. Peter Lister. Before Mr. Lister speaks this evening, he will present certificates to our volunteers on behalf of His Royal Highness the Prince of Wales. Our first volunteer, Graham Fuller. Ryan Gilligan. David Mercer. Michelle Murray. Andrew Haywood. Vicky Donegan. Koch. And ladies and gentlemen, our team leader, Paul Prescott.
Ladies and gentlemen, I can't speak Welsh, so I'm going to follow that. And how can you follow those 11 presentations? An inspiration. And you might think that members of the staff of the Princess Trust become immune to some of the impact these evenings have. It's special every time. It's special every time young people stand up and tell us exactly how it is. There's an honesty, there's a credibility that comes through that can only come from them. I just want to take a couple of minutes to put the programme in the context of the Princess Trust in the North West. And this year is rather special for us because it's 25 years since the Prince of Wales set up the Princess Trust. 1976 was when it all started. Very small, £7,000, which was his pension after leaving the Navy. And this year the turnover will be something like 38 million. In those 25 years we've helped over 400,000 young people. This year we'll help nearly 35,000 young people. And in this region alone, the North West, we'll help over 3,000 this year. And 1,000 of those 3,000 will be through this programme, the Volunteers Programme, our biggest programme and a great success, a great advert for what the Prince of Wales has been able to achieve in his work for young people. And apart from volunteers, there's the other things happening in the region. 700 young people will set up their own business with the help of the Trust, through our business programme. Another 200 will receive awards to help them into jobs and further training, through mentoring. And there's other things as well. Graham actually mentioned the cooked veggie course that he attended before the Volunteers programme. And I was lucky enough to attend that as well. And I tasted one of his meals, and it was good. And we had a good week. It was the first time we'd tried that course. It's an example of something new that the Trust is trying out with a very generous support of Sir Paul McCartney, who wanted us to utilise the vegetarian cookery school over in Altrincham. So, lots of different things the Trust does, lots of different ways we support young people. And I think tonight is a great advert for what can be achieved. We have in Cheshire one of our best franchises with the Fire Brigade in running the Volunteers programme, and a great credit to them to see all of you here tonight and to hear the presentations and the success of this particular team, Team 7. So I'd just like to say thank you particularly to the Fire Brigade. They are a great ambassador for the Trust, as in fact are all the agencies you've heard mentioned. Lots of different agencies I noticed mentioned in those presentations. And it just goes to show how many people are involved in making the programme a success. And I want to thank all those people who've contributed. I also want to thank all of you for coming tonight, because clearly I'm sure you appreciate how special tonight is for the young people. It's a milestone really in their lives, development, and a great advert for the Trust and what can be achieved with people working together in partnership. So that's all I want to say, because you've listened a lot tonight and you've heard the people who can say it as it is. And I want to thank all of you for your honesty, because I've heard things tonight that actually we can learn from. We mustn't be complacent. There are things we can pick up, the things you've said tonight that we can go away and think about and make this programme even better. Thank you very much.